Good morning, Sandpoint High School. Student ID photos will take place in room E8 access September 9th through 18th. Please take this opportunity to get your photo taken. Homecoming week is next week, September 14th through the 18th. New this year from the kitchen, you can now get lunch at the a la carte line. You can also get yogurt parfait with other fruits and veggies, milk or Italian sub with fruit, veggies, milk, and chips. More items to come. Please come and check it out. There are no lunch charges at any line this year. Please remember and plan accordingly. Free and reduced meal forms are available in the office.
Also on September 16th will be your early release day. Also on the 14th, the mandatory senior cap and gown meeting. Jostens will be here at 2 p.m. to give all seniors info about their graduation cap, gowns, invitations, and etc. All seniors must attend this meeting, even if they have early release.
Great day to be a Bulldog.
Get jacked for Powder Puff! September 16th, 7:15, Powder Puff B-Day.
Good morning, Bulldogs. With this video, we want to take some time to review some important student policies at Sandpoint High School. In this video, we will review the following. First, on and off campus guidelines. Second, attendance policy reminders. Third, tardies. And everybody's favorite, the dress code. First of all, as far as on and off campus guidelines, freshmen and sophomores must stay on campus. So basically what we're looking at is to the south, it's the treed area would be the boundary. So if you go into the trees, you're off campus. So we want to stay out of there. Of course, you can go to the portables, which is in front of the trees, but going beyond the back, the portables is basically considered off campus. Looking to the east, the parking lot is the boundary for the on campus. So if you go beyond the parking lot, if you go onto Division Street or the treed area, of course, this would be considered off campus, so please stay out of those areas. Behind the school is also restricted, so no student should be behind the school unless you're going to room T5, which is Mrs. Morton's room, or if your class is back there and you're with a teacher. Looking to the north, the middle school is basically the boundary. The exception would be going to the portables, so Mr. Hastings' room, or going out to the art building, Mrs. Guthrie's room. Other than that, students should not go to the middle school or beyond. We want to make sure we stay out of the middle school as well. We want to respect the learning that goes on there. So we do not want to go visit teachers or students and cause any disruptions. So students should please stay out of the middle school. That would really help us out. All right, now it's time for some attendance policy reminders. So at this time, please partner up with another student, and answer the following questions. So teachers, please pause the video so students can partner up and answer the questions. All right, now that you've had some time to answer the questions, let's go ahead and talk about these a little bit. So the first question, you have 48 hours to excuse your absence, okay? So you need to either have a parent call it in or bring in a signed note from home, and you must deliver that to Patsy within 48 hours. We prefer that you do it the next day you come back. So, try to do that, because once you let a day go by, then the chances you forget definitely go up. All right, so deliver that to Patsy or have a parent call that in to excuse your absence. This is really important. All right, if you are truant, the consequences, would be, the first levels, you're looking at an automatic Wednesday school. So you would have to serve Wednesday school to give back time for that truancy. That's your first levels. There are, of course, possibilities that you get zeros for any assigned work for that truancy. So your teachers have that ability to issue a 0 for the assigned work if it's truant. For chronic truancies, you could be assigned ARP time, which basically takes place at the end of the semester. This is time that you give back for having too many truancies. You could be referred to the Bonner County Juvenile Justice System and be placed on probation. There is a possibility you could lose your parking privileges here at Sandpoint High School, and you could lose your Idaho State driving privileges as well. We'll talk about more on this in a minute. Loss of credit are all possibilities, so you do have that potential to lose credit in a class if you had too many truancies. 3, as far as the allowable days of excused absences, you can really miss any one class 5 times. So you should be keeping track of how many times you're missing a specific class. And if you exceed the 5, then you have exceeded your allowable days of attendance. And that's even if they're excused. Okay, so that's 10% of the semester. So you want to stay within your 5 for each of your classes. And you need to really keep track of that. That's important. 4, as far as the consequences, if you exceed too many excused absences, is basically the same as the chronic truancy consequences. Number 5, it is true that you can exceed the limit of the 5 per class if they are medical documented absences. Just need to make sure you get this paperwork to Patsy. That's an important step. So those are some attendance policy reminders. Let's talk a little bit more about the driving privileges here, which some of you may not have known about. There is an Idaho law that does allow for the suspension of driving privileges of minors under 18 who drop out of school or fail to meet district attendance requirements. So that's why it's important that you follow our attendance requirements, because the state of Idaho does say that your driving privileges may be restricted if you exceed the allowable days of attendance. 2, also the Idaho Code says that a school may decide to not issue the verification of compliance form for those applying for a driver's license or permit if the student is not meeting the attendance requirements. So if you're trying to get a permit, you need to get that form filled out. And you get that form from Patsy at the attendance window, and she's going to check your attendance. If you've gone over and you have too many absences, there is a possibility you may not be issued that form to get your permit. So you want to make sure, again, that you're following the school's attendance requirements so you would not face this issue. Let's talk a little bit about tardies. For all first period tardies, you must get a tardy pass from Patsy at the attendance window before going to class. So again, for first period, get your tardy slip before you go to class. Teachers should not let you in if you're late if you do not have that tardy slip. 2, you get 2 free first period tardies a semester. So anything beyond that, you'll be assigned 1 lunch detention for each first period tardy beyond the 2 freebies. 3, go to your class within the first 10 minutes for periods 2 through 4. So if you're late within the first 10 minutes, and we're talking about periods 2 through 4, then you would go straight to that class. If it's after 10 minutes, so you're quite a bit late, then you're going to need to check in with Patsy before you go to class. Okay? So again, this is only for periods 2 through 4. If it's a first period tardy, you go get that tardy slip. Number 4, your teacher has discretion on the amount of tardies that could lead to consequences for periods 2 through 4. So it's completely up to your teacher. So you want to check their syllabus. You want to ask the teacher questions as far as what the policy is. They might have a system for handling the tardies in their own class, or they might have a system where they refer it to administration for consequences if you have a certain amount of tardies or if you're a certain amount late. So please check with your teacher for that. 5, if you skip lunch detention, you may be assigned 2 lunch detentions. So you don't want to skip that lunch detention. You want to make sure you serve it. And if you don't, then you could be assigned 2 lunch detentions. If you skip again, then you may be assigned BIC/in-school suspension.